Hello and welcome to Barbershop Books Story Time with Alvin Irby. That's me. Today's story is called Niblet and Ralph. That's such a funny word, Niblet. Well, let's take a look at Niblet and Ralph. Let's look at the cover. What do we see? Well, I see a cat. And something a little strange is happening with this cat. Do you notice what I see that's strange? It has on headphones. You think the cat is listening to music? Maybe. What else do I see? Well, I see what looks like maybe some crumbs from some food. And somebody's paws are trying to, well, I don't know what they're doing, but it looks like their paws are getting pretty close to these snacks. And if you look on the back, there's a cat with a bag of chips. Well, let's find out what's happening in this story. Today's story is Niblet and Ralph. And in the front of the book, it says, Lost Cat, Niblet. And over here, it says, Missing Cat, Ralph. So, it appears that there are two cats. One cat's name is Niblet, and one cat's name is Ralph. Let's find out what these two cats are up to. This is Hema and Ralph. This is Dilla and Niblet. So, there are two kids. This is Dilla and Niblet. And this is Hema and Ralph. So, I see a little girl with a cat, and I see a boy with a cat. They all live in the same building. Two of them know this, but two do not. I wonder what that means. Two of them know this, but two do not. Can you guess who does know? I don't know. And look, you can see the little girl with her cat in the window. And there's the little boy with his cat in the window. Ooh, and do you see what's happening at the bottom of the page? There's a man who's selling ices. So I bet it must be summertime, because that's usually the time where, especially in New York City, there are men and women selling ices in carts on the sidewalk. This story is making me want an icy. You guessed it, Ralph and Niblet. They talk together on the phone all day. What? They talk on the phone? But Ralph and Niblet are cats. How can cats talk on the phone? I don't know about this one. And look what they're saying. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. That's all they're saying on the phone is meow, 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 and meow. I don't know. This is a funny story. The cats are talking to each other on the phone. And look at this courtyard. There's like a guy who's chilling in the courtyard. Do you see him? It looks like he's reading. Oh, that's fun. And there's some little birds. I wonder if he threw down some food to feed the birds. Let's see. What else do I see that's cool in this picture? Do you see the clothesline? There's a clothesline going from one apartment all the way over to the other apartment. Do you see it? When I was growing up in Arkansas, in my backyard, we actually had a clothesline. So during the summer, after we would wash our clothes, instead of going to the laundromat or the washateria to dry our clothes, we would just hang them on the line in the backyard in the sun, and then they would dry super quick. Well, for those of you who are just tuning in to Barbershop Book Storytime, today we're reading a story called Niblet and Ralph. It's a story about two cats who live in the same building. Let's find out what these two cats are up to. When they ran out of things to say, they shared the sun. Oh, so they both sit out in the sun, or they sit in front of the window so that the sunshine can shine on them. One of them is sitting on a large chair. That's a cool looking chair. And what is the other cat sitting on? He's sitting on like a little bed for animals. And look what you see. I see more books. This story has a lot of books in it. Remember, there was a man who was sitting in the courtyard who was reading. Do you remember? Here it is. Do you see him reading? I wonder if we'll see any more books in this story. We'll have to keep an eye out. All right. One day, Ralph found a way to visit Niblet. Wow, looks like he's going to escape out of the apartment. And Niblet found a way to visit Ralph. Look at this. Look at what Ralph is doing. Do you see this? It looks like he got into the pants. And maybe when they pull the pants over, after they're dry, the cat will then get a chance to see his friend. So Ralph is hanging out in a pair of pants so that he can sneak all the way over to see his friend Niblet. And look, Niblet found a way to go visit Ralph by escaping out of the door when the boy opened the door. And what did he say? Mom, we're going to be late. I wonder where they're going. He has a cool necklace on. Do you see it? It's kind of cool. Hold on. Can you see it now? There it is. Let's keep reading and find out what Ralph and Niblet are up to. Except when Niblet got to Ralph's, no one was home. I'll just wait for Ralph, he thought. When Ralph got to Niblet's, nobody was home there either. He probably just stepped into the litter box, thought Ralph. So here we go. Look, Niblet made it over to Ralph's place, but Ralph was gone. And when Ralph made it to Niblet's place, everybody was gone. So the cats switched apartments and they didn't even know it. So now they're just wondering, hey, where's my friend at? Oh, you know what? The name of the boy in the story is called Dilla. And guess what? Dilla is the name of a music producer who made really, really, really cool beats. And look, I think I even see an album on, is that an album? Oh, maybe that's a donut. Never mind. Okay. Well, let's keep reading. When Himma came home after school, she scooped up Ralph to hug him, but Niblet did not want to be hugged. When Dilla came home from school, he got out Niblet's favorite toy, but Ralph did not want to play. Why do you think that Niblet and Ralph were acting different? It was probably because they're not actually Niblet and Ralph. They switched apartments. So now Himma has the wrong cat and Dilla has the wrong cat. But they look almost exactly the same. So how in the world will they be able to tell their cats apart? All they're going to know is these cats are acting really, really strange. What would you do if you had a cat or a dog and there was an identical, meaning it looked exactly the same as your cat or dog? What if your cat or dog switched place with an entirely different animal? That would be just like so weird. Let's see what happens next. There was something not quite right about Ralph. Hema decided to run a test. She put headphones on Ralph and played his favorite song, but Niblet hated it because it wasn't really Ralph, it was Niblet. And look, here's the cat running away with the headphones still attached to its ears. And here's Hema, and she does not understand what in the world is going on. And let's see what this album says. It says Cats Under the Stars. And this is a record. And you play a record on a record player. Do you see it right here? Maybe that's her dad in the background. Let's see what else happens. This is a fake Ralph, Hema shouted. Ralph has been cloned and replaced. Maybe he's just tired, yawned Dad. Oh, that's not how a dad would talk. He'd probably say, maybe he's just tired. Oh, yawned Dad. It's time for bed. So Hema is starting to notice that something is weird about her cat. And the dad just thinks maybe the cat is just tired since it's time for bed. I wonder what's happening with Dilla. Dilla knew there was something off about Niblet, so he tried a little experiment. This is not Niblet, he shouted. Niblet loves chips, and this cat does not. And the cat, all it did was just sniffed the chips. I wonder what they're going to do to be able to solve this problem. Their cats switched places. You think someone snuck in here and replaced Niblet with another cat? Laughed his mom. Time for bed, Detective Dilla. And look, you can see the picture of the cat, and you can see the cat is sniffing the chips, and here's Dilla feeding the chips to the cat. And the mother laughed at the idea that maybe somebody came in and switched the cats, because wouldn't that be weird if you were at home, or even if you left and someone just switched your cat? That would not be something that you would expect to happen. So there's no way for these two kids to know that their cats switched places. All that they know is that the cats have been acting very strange and not like themselves. And look, do you remember? We were going to look to see if we could find some more books. And look, here are some more books. This story is filled with books. Oh, I didn't even look on this page. Look, I don't think these are books. I think these may be records. This is Hema's living room. Let's keep reading to find out what happens with Niblet and Ralph. All night, Hema wondered what had happened to Ralph. All night, Dilla wondered about what had happened to Niblet, because their cats are not acting like themselves. And here's Hema imagining. And I think this one, she imagines a robber stealing the cat, Then she imagines that maybe some birds captured her cat and took her cat away. And then here she's imagining that her cat is stuck up in a tree, because that's one of the things people always think about, is a cat being stuck in a tree. And let's see what Dilla is imagining. Well, Dilla is imagining that maybe the cat was abducted by aliens into a spaceship. Or maybe there's a dog who replaced the cat. I don't know. That dog is drooling and looks a little hungry. I don't know. And then here's something else that Dilla is imagining. Maybe a robot came and took his cat away. Who knows? These are some very imaginative kids. They're trying to figure out, how in the world did my cat become so strange? Fake Ralph was nice enough, but Hema missed the real Ralph. Her dad was not convinced he was gone. It was time to take matters into her own hands. So she made signs. And I'm sure the signs will say, hey, my cat is missing. My cat is named Ralph. Have you seen it? And guess what? Dilla liked not Niblet, but he missed the real Niblet. That sounds funny. His mom didn't believe that Niblet was missing. It was time to investigate. So guess what? He made posters and he said, hey, oh, he has on a hat. I have a hat like that. Do you want me to go get it? I'm going to go get it. Wait 1 second. Are you there? Okay. Since they became detectives, I'm going to put on my detective hat. Are you ready? Here goes nothing. Do I look like a detective? What do you think? Can you see? My detective hat looks just like the one in the story. How cool is that? All right, let's keep reading. So, for those of you who are just tuning in to Barbershop Books Story Time, we're reading a really cool story called Niblet and Ralph. This is a story about two cats who look almost exactly the same, and they switched apartments. But their owners, two kids, one named Hema and one named Dilla, they had no idea that their cats had been switched, but they knew something was weird about the cat in their apartment. So they made signs asking people if they had seen their cats. Hema looked everywhere for Ralph. Dilla did the same for Niblet until, and look, here's Hema putting up signs everywhere, even on people's cars. And here is Dilla looking everywhere and putting up signs for Niblet. Do you think they're going to bump into each other? They look like they're really close to each other. I wonder what's going to happen when they meet. Bang! Oh no, they were looking everywhere except for in front of them, and I think that they bumped into each other. Look, it says bang. So the two kids were walking looking for their cat, and they were so busy looking for their cat that they didn't even see each other, and then boom! Oh wait, bang! And then they bumped into each other, and all of their flyers went flying in the air. And if you look closely, even Dilla's hat flew in the air. And look, his hat looks almost exactly like mine. Do you see it? How cool is that? Do I look like a detective? You mean fake Ralph? Not Niblet. You mean fake Ralph? Yelped Hema. Fake Ralph? You mean not Niblet? Asked Dilla. Finally, the mystery was solved. So, the two kids who owned the cats, they accidentally bumped into each other and they saw each other's signs. So now they know why their cats are acting so weird and strange, because they're not really their cats. So Dilla had Ralph and Hema had Niblet. Why do you think that they call Niblet Niblet? I think it might be because Niblet likes to nibble on stuff. For those of you who are just tuning in to Barbershop Books, we're reading a cool story called Niblet and Ralph. It's a story about two kids whose cats switched apartments. And the kids were not convinced that their cats were really their cats because they were acting so weird. And guess what? They accidentally bumped into each other while putting up signs around the neighborhood, and they discovered that they actually had each other's cats. What a coincidence. Back home, Dilla and Hema met in the hallway with Niblet and Ralph. Niblet was so happy to see Dilla, he didn't mind being hugged. Ralph was so happy to see Hema, he leaped straight into her arms. Hema and her dad invited everyone for dinner. Look, he said, Niblet! And she said, Ralph! So they're so excited to see their real cat. And now, Hema's dad invited Dilla's mom over for dinner. So I guess they'll have dinner and talk about their cats. Now, everyone was where they belonged, together. And look, here's the family, well, the two families having dinner. And then, here are the two cats, and they're hanging out. They had always wanted to meet each other, and they finally did. And so guess what? On the signs, instead of saying missing, it says found cat Ralph. And then over here it says found cat Niblet. The end. So we were able to figure out where the cats were, but I guess we kind of knew where they were all along. Well, thank you so much for watching Barbershop Books Storytime. If you would like to learn more information about Barbershop Books or to make a donation, you can visit our website at barbershopbooks.org. You can also connect with us on social media at Barbershop Books. Well, until next time, bye.